began slowly, the way the biggest storms do, with nothing but whispers and attention nobody wanted to say out loud. But Atlanta's reality TV world had always been a small pond with too many big fish, and when the water started to churn around Yandy Smith and Rasheeda Frost, everybody in the city felt it. Years ago, their friendship looked unbreakable. Yandy Smith was respected, calm, and a powerhouse in every boardroom, known for her business sense and activism, while Rasheeda Frost was the original survivor, holding her family and her boutique together through every scandal Kirk Frost dragged into their lives. Fans cheered for them, looked up to them, posted their photos on vision boards to women who built empires from nothing and smiled through every attack. But what viewers didn't see was the pressure bubbling just beneath the surface, the competition. For camera time, the little resentments that grew each time one got more attention than the other. By the time this season rolled around, those tiny cracks in their friendship had grown into fault lines ready to split the whole show apart. The first sign came when Tasha K went live late one night. Her phone buzzing with viewers, she teased the receipts before dropping bombshell after bombshell, private texts, voice notes, and rumors that Yandy Smith had handed Rasheeda Frost's secrets to a small-time Atlanta influencer nobody respected. Screenshots appeared of messages where Yandy Smith supposedly shared personal details about Rasheeda Frost's fights with Kirk Frost, her business problems, even her family drama, intimate things never meant to leave the green room. What hit hardest was how real it all sounded. Fans raced to Instagram, Twitter, and the comments of every boutique post Rasheeda Frost made, demanding answers. At first, Rasheeda Frost tried to ignore it, thinking the storm would blow over like every other internet mess. She'd survived worse, she told herself, and she was busy enough keeping her brand afloat. But the hurt came from the faces she knew her. So-called friends in group chats, her employees whispering behind racks of new clothes, her regular customers asking questions with their eyes. The betrayal felt bigger than just a TV moment. It was a knife in the back from someone she'd once called a sister. While all this was exploding, Yandy Smith didn't respond at all. Not a tweet, not a story, not even a single like on social media. The silence only made things messier. Kendra Robinson decided to jump in, fanning the flames. On set, she smirked at every cold shoulder and joined confessionals just to say she was team loyalty without ever saying which side that meant. The production crew started whispering too. Yandy Smith had always been careful with her image, but now every off-camera interaction seemed suspicious. People remembered how she'd started hanging around that influencer, how she'd been seen laughing a little too loud with him after shoots, how sometimes her words about Rasheeda Frost were a bit too sharp for someone who claimed sisterhood. Kendra Robinson loved every second, finally feeling important in a season where her own drama was getting cut for time. Then came the leaked email, not meant for public eyes. An intern hit reply all, and suddenly the show's inner workings were out in the open. Cast rankings, power ratings, who the producers saw as valuable, who they thought was a risk. Rasheeda Frost was listed as a brand asset, but unstable in alliances. Her outbursts and shifting friendships marked as a problem. Yandy Smith was called priority leverage, with notes about her sponsorships, social justice work, and her power to pull audiences from every platform. Kendra Robinson was barely mentioned at all, and that stung her more than anything. She threw a fit in a production meeting, shouting that she deserved more screen time, more respect, that her realness was being wasted on background scenes. Security had to calm her down as she ranted about being the only honest person on the cast. But the focus was never on her. It stayed glued to the growing storm between Yandy Smith and Rasheeda Frost. Back on social media, the fans had chosen sides and were more ruthless than ever. Every post from pressed ATL was flooded with messy comments. Is your merch as fake as your friends? Hope those jeans last longer than your loyalty. Influencer friends quietly unfollowed. Brands hesitated to renew deals. Rasheeda Frost watched her boutique's numbers drop, heart pounding with every notification. She realized staying quiet was no longer an option. Calling in her stylist, she prepared for the most important confessional of her life. No crying. This time, no breakdown, just calm fury. She sat down in front of the camera, laid it all out, and said what everyone was waiting for. I stood by Yandy Smith through everything, but what I got back was a knife in the back and designer heels. I opened my heart, my home, my business, and all I got was used as a plot for someone else's rise. The clip went everywhere. Fans took sides again, with some seeing Rasheeda Frost as the hero finally standing up for herself, and others accusing her of playing the victim for attention. But everyone agreed on one thing: this was far from over. The next twist came quickly. A Reddit thread popped up with screenshots of messages allegedly between a junior producer and Yandy Smith's team. They discussed how Rasheeda Frost was pushing the fake marriage storyline, trying to damage Yandy Smith's brand, and how they were ready to respond legally if it went any further. The receipts got even more intense when a deleted scene surfaced. In it, Yandy Smith, Rasheeda Frost, and Carly Red were at lunch, joking about how sometimes the marriage drama was all for the cameras. The laughter was real, but so was the pain underneath. Suddenly, every accusation about fake marriages and storylines became a boomerang, hitting Rasheeda Frost instead of Yandy Smith. Social media lost its mind. Blogs retracted stories, some fans apologized, others doubled down, but the lines had been redrawn. Kendra Robinson went live ranting about loyalty, betrayal, and how Yandy Smith had manipulated everyone, but it only made her look desperate. The final straw came when Mendeecees Harris left a side-eye emoji under one of her rants. That one symbol had fans screaming if Mendeecees Harris was paying attention, it meant something big was about to go down. Reunion taping day arrived, and nobody knew what to expect. The set was transformed into something cold and formal: a fake courtroom with deep red lights, a velvet couch, and cameras ready to catch every tear, every argument, every shift in power. Rasheeda Frost came out first, face set, body language tight. She was determined to show strength even if her hands shook off camera. Kendra Robinson strutted behind her, soaking up attention, praying this would finally be her moment. But when Yandy Smith stepped onto the stage, the mood changed instantly. Dressed in black with her hair pulled back, she carried a thick folder marked receipts, and her calm presence made the whole cast shift nervously in their seats. The host asked the question everyone expected: "What happened to your friendship?" Rasheeda Frost tried to play it cool, saying things just weren't the same anymore. But the room was already watching Yandy Smith. Without drama or a raised voice, Yandy Smith opened her folder and started dropping evidence, screenshots of texts, where Rasheeda Frost told producers to push rumors about her marriage, audio recordings from a hot mic that caught Rasheeda Frost and Kendra Robinson plotting in the bathroom to make Yandy Smith look bad on camera, and emails that showed Rasheeda Frost envied the way editors always protected Yandy Smith's image. Then, in the moment that broke the internet, Yandy Smith handed a USB to the production team. On the big screen behind them, security footage rolled Rasheeda Frost leaving a heartfelt on-camera scene with Yandy Smith, then immediately turning the corner and calling someone to say, "We got the scene, now let's run the next phase." The audience gasped. Rasheeda Frost looked like she'd seen a ghost. Unable to move or speak, Yandy Smith finally spoke, not with anger, but with calm truth. She said, "You ever trust someone with your secrets, then find out they were just collecting them to use as weapons?" The words hung in the air, heavier than anything that had come before. Kendra Robinson tried to jump in, insisting everyone plotted sometimes, that it was just how reality TV worked. But Yandy Smith wasn't having it. "It's a show, but it's our lives. When the camera turns off, some of us still have to live with the mess." That silenced Kendra Robinson for good. Just then, Mendeecees Harris entered, all in black. Silent but powerful, he walked behind Yandy Smith and placed a supportive hand on her shoulder. He didn't need to say anything. His loyalty spoke for him. The energy in the room changed again. For the first time, even the production crew looked nervous, realizing they weren't just filming drama, they were capturing a moment that could define the whole franchise. Yandy Smith turned to address everyone: cast, crew, fans, even the world outside the set. She said she had always protected people who would have thrown her under the bus, that she'd held onto the idea of sisterhood longer than she should have, and that sometimes the realest thing you can do is walk away from people who use you for their storylines. At that point, Mona Scott Young walked onto the stage, heels clicking, eyes sharp. She faced everyone and made it clear, this is bigger than any fight, bigger than TV. This is about legacy. You all build something that matters, and now you have to decide if you want to keep building or burn it down, she told Yandy Smith. To finish what she started, Yandy Smith stood, calm and strong, and said, I've been loyal, I've been quiet, I've been strong even when people thought I was weak. But from now on, I'm not protecting anyone who wouldn't protect me. If you think this folder is bad, you don't want to know what else I could bring. She didn't wait for applause. She just walked off the set, head held high, knowing she had said everything that needed to be said. The fallout was instant. Rasheeda Frost sat alone, staring at the floor. Kendra Robinson looked around, lost, desperate for someone to give her. A new storyline, Mendeecees Harris followed Yandy Smith out, protective and silent. Mona Scott Young stood in the center, knowing she had just produced a reunion that would go down in TV history. Online, hashtag Yandy Y Smith wins and hashtag RASHEEDA Frost exposed trended all night. Pressed ATLS social media team had to temporarily close comments to deal with the flood of messages. Fans on every platform debated who was right, who was wrong, and what real loyalty means. And everyone learned something new. Never turn your friend into a storyline unless you're ready to become the villain. Don't underestimate the quiet ones. They keep the best receipts, and by the time they show them, it's already too late for everyone else.